Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And y'all, you're in for a special treat. It's just our next guest, Marie Mbouni. It's I have such a special place in my heart for this woman, and you're gonna feel the heart resonance as well. I met Marie, God, it must have been 7, 8 years ago at a retreat for leaders of transformational development. And she and I just click like that. And that connection hasn't been lost. And there's something really special about what comes through to her, this connection into the heart, into the earth, into the celestial. And say she's going to take us into that. And we're going to go into remembering celestial quintessence. What does that mean? What comes through? We're going to talk about insights or revelations that Marie has gained from being and with her interactions with celestial beings. We're going to talk about star energies. We'll probably get into the portal energies that we're navigating right now. And I may ask Marie some of her experiences in the shamanic realms as well. And as an example of just the presence that she has and attunement. Right before we went live, just heard gonging on the crystal bowl and what that did just to slow down the energy, to bring presence, the slowdown was absolutely just divine. And you're going to feel that peacefulness that being held on today's call as well. So it's with that I want to introduce you to the amazing Marie Mbouni. Welcome, Marie, back to BTO. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Thank you, John, my brother, my
Mm,
celestial brother. Actually, John and I met and we recognized each other. We didn't know each other's names, but it was like, wow, there you are again.
mhm.
And I'm so honored to be here on your show and to share with your audience.
Thank you, Marie. Tell the audience a little bit more about you. Let them know how you work with your clients, how you facilitate shamanically, energetically as a spiritual guide and facilitator.
So I work with people in groups and one on one. And I have learned, studied, or I should say, remembered many modalities: shamanic healing, shamanic breath work, energy healing, sound healing, consciousness coaching, creativity. And so, what happens is that when I work with people one on one, I use all the modalities that I have to really help them access their true potential. And this can take the form of many different uh, modalities, techniques, but the whole point, it always about you recovering your true essence, your potential, your awakening, your ascension, your soul purpose. And I tend to get a lot of people who are in some sort of transition, right? I get a lot of clients who are like CEOs or they're like in business, they're feeling the call of the soul, they're feeling something. I get those types of people. And I also get the spiritual people who are ready for their next level of
Mm,
evolution. And then I work with group programs where I facilitate either uh, plant medicine ceremonies for, like the Shift Network or other, um, I'm going to say other people who invite me, like Third Wave or One Heart Journeys, to be their facilitators when they have big group, as in like 30, 40, 50 people. And
mm,
when they want somebody who can really hold space for transformation and ascension, they usually call me. And then I have my own group programs where I take people through what I call experiences, where it could be soul purpose, it could be energy, it could be your next level of the offering that you have in your business, right? And they tend to look like incubators where people have something in their belly that maybe they've had for 20 years and they haven't ever done it. And then they come into these containers, and then we take them through, different processes, healings, and methodologies to get them to where they want to go.
Mm. Yeah, the work you do is profound. And for me, more importantly, the way that you hold it energetically and from heart consciousness, but with this embodiment that's just, you're just there. I mean, Marie comes across as very, I won't say very soft, but you can feel just the nurturance and that strong feminine that comes in, but there's such power behind that softness. And I really feel that that's where a lot of your shamanic and even galactic shamanic, I would
Yes.
have to say, comes through. Um, I want to get into, and I want to build on the conversation because I'm really intrigued by this whole concept of celestial quintessence. What is that? What does that mean to you? And how does that translate for us
Mm.
who are open to receiving the medicine that you're providing?
Thank you for asking that question. So, actually, when you invited me on the show, I was like, what is it that wants to be shared? What is it that wants to be heard? What is it that is in the field? And I went into meditation, and I could see like stars, I could see the sky. And what I could also feel was that it's really about remembrance, right? So the concept of celestial quintessence is like the purest essence of like who you are. It's the purest, highest essence of your being, of your soul, of what you carry through your bones, through your energies, through your blueprint. Basically, really why you came here, right? And this quintessence has to do with, as I was receiving it, like your connection to the divine, right? Like in my spiritual journey, there has always been a sense of, reaching beyond the material world while staying grounded in the material world, right? And so, the energies that you may feel in those moments that are ineffable, moments of profound connection, and they could happen while you're playing or while you're out in nature or in deep meditation. But this is where the boundaries of the self seem to dissolve, and you sense that unity with all that is.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Hmm. How do you
so
how do you help to guide us there? What is it in Well, I already know the answer. Just being around you, that invitation starts to swell already. But what do you find that the people that you work with experience when they start tapping into the essence of that?
mm. So first, to be honest, most people who are new to this journey first have resistance.
Hmm.
What do you mean? Stars, celestial, right? And then what happens is there's a curiosity that starts to come into play. Because one of the things that I always say is that you don't have to believe in something in order to experience or receive benefits from that thing. And so when I bring this concept of the celestial, and I start to, either through a simple meditation, people can feel it. They don't know how to name it, they don't know how to describe it, but they start to feel it. And so it's like there is an expansion of consciousness, right? So it's one of the key aspects of spiritual awakening, where you feel like you have tapped into something, you have tapped into a cosmic essence, like your awareness broadens, and it's like it's beyond the ordinary. I mean, I
Right.
know your show is beyond the ordinary, but
Rightfully so. Yes.
it is beyond the ordinary, right? And the other thing that I have noticed and experienced is that awakening is not just about reaching higher states of consciousness, but it's really about integration of those higher states in our daily life. And quintessence is really when you can be above and below. It's like roots and wings. It's really like the real transformation process involve learning to ground these higher energies and allowing them to inform the way that you live and interact with the whole the whole world,
Mm,
right? And so it creates this space where we start to go beyond the self as well, right? We start to feel, unity, consciousness. We start to feel a resonance with humanity, the recognition that we are a part of a greater whole.
mm. Yeah. Amazing. And my typical question would be, so how do we do that? What are the tools? And I want to back up a little bit with the realization of the environment that gets created. You speaking of it already becomes a catalyst for that interacting and dancing with us that are here on the call with you, that are receiving from your place of awareness and embodiments of that. So it's so beautiful because it goes from this plane that I know that we're going, that we're so used to doing, and we're transitioning into this place of receiving and learning how to be in environments that really nurture what's available for us if we're present enough to actually be aware that it's a relationship that we can have.
Hmm. I love that. I love the word relationship.
Mm,
And, a relational, for me, what it evokes is the concept of possibility, right? You cannot have a relationship with something that's impossible, right? It's like it's a two-way, and it is indeed a relationship that is available to us. And it is available to us if we open to it. And you kind of ask about how do we do that, right? And I want to share some of the ways that I connect to that celestial quintessence so that I
mm,
may remember, because what happens is that, in our daily lives, in the world right now, there's so much chaos, there's so much going on, and I don't want to go into that. But what happens to me when I give into that, there is a contraction, there is a closing off, there is forgetting, fear, confusion, where my vision starts to become tunneled. So usually for me, one of the impetus or the push is when I start to feel like I'm overwhelmed. That's when I remember to open up to that relationship. But what I want to really bring here is that, how can we remember this relationship and bring it, right? Meditation. And when I say meditation, I don't mean the monastic, sitting there with and chanting Om for 30 minutes. I'm talking about dynamic, relational meditation where, you start to organize your day so that it's informed by this cosmic energy. And what would it look like? It could be simple as, thinking about a cosmic light coming into you and asking that cosmic light to guide your actions, your thoughts, your behaviors, right? It could be as simple as mindful breathing when you are going through something tough. Maybe it's at work and something aggravated you, and you take 1 minute to breathe, incorporating these cosmic lights so that you may attune to them, and so that they could bring this universal, maybe love or peace or understanding or acceptance in your day, in the present moment, right? Another thing that I personally do is I love creating sacred space, like
Mm,
sacred space creation, star altar creations. I have right now, there's actually a star altar right here on my desk. And this is one of the crystals. So I'm actually living what I'm preach. So, a star altar creation, maybe even if you don't know why, just going out and stargazing, connecting to those energies. Or maybe you just think about a star like, ooh, I love that star, and creating an altar maybe for an intention that you have, right? Maybe you have a project, maybe you have a health challenge, maybe you need clarity, right? Creating this star altar, like just a crystal, a candle, maybe a star shaped thing, but it's the dedication and the intentionality and the connecting and calling in that star, cosmic, celestial
mm,
energy onto that then supports and informs, you know, either that intention, that project, your life. Another thing that has really been powerful for me is gratitude. So, the
mm,
first time I connected with Star, I mean, they came to me. It was like 12, 12, 12, right? December 2012. And I had a lucid dream. At the time, I was just like starting my awakening journey, and I was deep into science and medicine and total skeptic. And so I had this dream where I was aware that I was dreaming. And in the dream, there was this, there was an orange light that was flashing, right? So it was like, later I understood, an awakening light, like it was waking me up from my sleep. But I was awake in the dream and seeing this happen.
mm,
And then when I looked up, like, what's happening, I saw the sky, and the sky looked black, like very, very deep, deep, deep dark blue. And then what I saw was like stars, but it was like a star would light up, and then there would be a line, and another star would light up, and then another line, and another star would light up, and it just kept going. And I was like, what is going on? And it's only later that, when I found my first shamanic teacher, this dream, this lucid dream was so present. And I told them, I was like, this is what I experienced. And it was like, oh, those were constellations. Constellations are like, they have different shapes, right? I still see unto this day that constellation. It was the constellation Lyra. And it was just like the star was lighting up, and then a line, like a line made of light in that dark blue sky. So it was just like going and going. So that's how the stars actually woke me up. I didn't try, right? And it can happen to you consciously, meaning you could decide to have that experience. And then what happened is that, later on, when I realized that, oh my gosh, the stars came to me, then I would go outside and call to the stars. And then they give me a signal where I would know that it's them. So when the stars want to talk to me now, if I close my eyes, I see like little purple uh, lights, like circular round, and just like coming a little bit like soap bubbles, but that have like the same size, and they're purple, and they just come like that, and then it's like, wake up, wake up, wake up, we're here, right? So I have so much gratitude. And as I'm sharing about gratitude, we could be your practice, especially at the end of the day, right? You know, where you might say, oh, this day was informed by the stars. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want more of it. Um, so, joy,
Mm,
because as I was telling you this about this experience, or how the stars contact me now, like there's this joy that just comes. And to me, joy is really about not taking it so seriously.
mm,
Like
yes.
like none of these like higher energies or are very serious. So having compassion for ourselves. Let's say you try something and it doesn't work, right? Stargazing, something I love. And if it's the first time, what I recommend is just go outside, even if it's your balcony, right? Even if there's light pollution, because sometimes people say, oh, you need, clear skies or whatever. Just go outside. The first thing you're going to notice is that you're going to see stars, and they're going to look random. But then you're going to start to notice, like, oh, wow, these two stars are close to each other. Oh, those are kind of like, close. Oh, those are way over there. You're going to start to notice the organization. The next thing you're going to notice is their colors, right? Like, as you look at each star individually, you're actually going to see the color that they emit, right? It could be like orange or blue, or rainbow, or whatever, however they want to represent themselves to you. You're going to start to notice. And at that point, make a connection. You could just say, like, hey, it's me, Marie. I just wanted to say hi.
It's amazing. What I really appreciate just greatly is in your description and in these tools, if you will. Now, I'll give a reflection first and then come back. It's what you bring is you bring this amazing presence. And while you have the capacity to be a futurist and to peer out and to do all that, that's not the emphasis. Even though you can be aware of the flows of energetics that are influencing the field and how they might influence you, your position of presence is really what ignites the capacity of that fluidity and to see. But in that presence, something that you bring in just so exceptionally is that there's this window into the people that you're with to be able to tap into like their role, what they're doing, a life purpose that isn't about what will I be if I become X and X, but the awareness, that soul calling that is so alive in us. And through that celestial quintessence, through the stillness, through the expansion that's provided in your field, shamanically, celestially, galactically, um, that just becomes so invigorated and becomes more well known because of that presence.
Absolutely. One of the things that I have realized is that our consciousness has been hijacked.
Hmm.
We are not present. I was meditating on the state of being of humanity, and that is really what I felt in the field. Our presence, our consciousness has been hijacked by distractions. And these distractions are very sexy. They feel important, right? And so it becomes very subtle, and we don't realize it. The colonization of ourselves
Hmm.
through distraction, right? And presence is your divinity. Like, when we started this call, I don't remember how I said it, but like, it's about bringing all this here now on earth.
Hmm.
Accessing higher realms of consciousness is not about going there to live, as a lot of people who are spiritual have done in the past and are still doing. Although, yes, it's one of our wounds, like the wound of incarnation. However, when we are aware, we can really start to move through that, meaning we can move away from bypassing, from hiding, numbing, what have you. Because our divinity is our incarnation, it's our groundedness, it's our presence, it's our embodiment. It's That's where the power come from, instead of ethereality. If you're ethereal, you're not here, you're floating somewhere, that is not why you came here. And so I'm so happy that you brought that, into our container, into this beautiful circle. And, the other thing I want to bring here is that, these celestial quintessence true objective is really also about rediscovering the true self, right? It's like fundamentally reconnecting to, your pure essence, like the you that you have forgotten, the you that you abandoned, and me included. When I say you, it's inclusive you, right? This is like the divine spark, right? That is within you. I'm getting goosebumps right now. Okay. And so that remembrance can then help us peel away the layers of like societal conditioning, fears, self-imposed limitations, ego-driven desires. The ego is not bad. However, there's a discerning that needs to happen here, right? And so, that true self is so precious, so precious. And and we forget that iconic true divine spark
Mm.
that we bring with our soul when we come here.
So profound, Marie. And again, the way that you weave it, but bring the energy in to really just sweep and bring up what we're ready to receive is so beautiful. I want to get into a little bit, and we're going to take a little bit of Q&A in a second. So if y'all want to ask me personal questions, it's a great opportunity to do so. And we'll get into the special offer, which is amazing. So when you said it, has your consciousness been hijacked? It really sparks something. It's like, yes, 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 in so many different ways. How can
Yes.
we keep tuning in to refine that awareness? Because sometimes we're not aware that we've been swept away into another place that isn't necessarily in what's in alignment for what our soul is calling us to.
I love that question. So, yes, most of the times we are not aware. And I think the most important thing is curiosity. Be curious. How am I doing? Like, can we ask ourselves that question? How am I doing? Versus automatic negative self-talk, right? Oh, you're such an idiot, you whatever. It's like, because that's what we ask other people. Like, even when you send a text message, hey, how's it going? Can we do that to ourselves at all levels, right?
Hmm.
How am I doing energetically? How am I doing physically? How is my heart doing? How is my soul doing? How is my spirit doing? And asking this with neutrality and non judgment, right? This is not an opportunity to then start like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing well, in this way and start bashing yourself. So, how am I doing? What do I need? How do I feel? Right? These questions, asking them with curiosity, with neutrality, and non judgment.
Mhm.
The other thing that's important is what I call press pause. Just pause. As you're going through your day, as you're doing all these things, just kind of pause
Mhm.
and notice, like are you in acceleration mode? Are you in fear mode? Are you in, deer in the headlight mode? Are you, really notice before you go and do all these practices. Where are you? Sometimes I ask myself, like, I notice, I'm like, where are you? Where have you been? you know
Mhm.
and this is, sometimes I get excited. It's not always negative, right? Sometimes I get excited about something and I go down the rabbit hole, and 2 hours later it's like, where are you?
Guilty, guilty, yes.
Right? So even asking yourself, where are you? What's going on? That can amplify the self awareness, because self awareness is key to everything. The
Mhm.
minute you are aware, you can then move into a space of choice, right? Which is what really, that's our power, the power of choice. You can then choose to stop, to move forward, to shift, to turn around. Like, the choice is yours. Like, you have agency, and you have autonomy and sovereignty, and you can only get that through the power of choice that comes with self-awareness.
Mhm. One of the pillars of density, I'll call it, to give it a category that came up for me very strongly over the last 18 months, that I was going through an initiation of recognizing it. And it comes in various forms. It doesn't sound like it because sometimes there's a box that we tend to put it in. And so I'm talking about it right now because I want to lead up to it. I'm building anticipation, y'all. Um, but there's this energy, and you mentioned it earlier. And again, it's that pillar of seduction, and we're not aware that we're being seduced into other people's or other situations' dreams and taken out of ours. It's fascinating, and it's insidious, and I believe that it's something that we all have to transform through. That it is an initiation in raising our consciousness. And
I
curious what your awareness and wisdom that you can bring in around that particular pillar, because you did mention it, and I know this is
Mhm.
something that comes up in the shamanic realms a lot also.
Absolutely. Thank you for illuminating that. Illuminating. We're having so much fun. Yes, so I think I used the word sexy, and you're using the word seductive, right? So, one of the things that is important to notice is your primary relationship is with the self,
Mhm.
and really walking with yourself, moving with yourself, observing yourself, and accepting yourself. Because when you accept yourself, it's easier to go through these initiations. Um, my definition, and I don't know yours, John, my definition of initiation is transformation through surrender, right?
Beautiful.
Transformation through surrender. So these experiences, that it's almost like they take us on a walk or a trip, and And then it's like, whoa, I lost myself. I
Mm,
lost myself in love. I lost myself in my job. I lost myself in pursuing enlightenment. Like it
mm,
could be anything, the different ways we lose the self or we lose our soul, right? And in shamanism, one of the things that we know is that every day we have the potential to lose our soul.
mm,
And this is not a reason to blame ourselves. It's a recognition, a remembrance that we are here on a journey. We're not here on a destination, right? Like, if not, we would all arrive. We're
mm,
on a journey, and a journey is to me, I have the, I'm receiving the image of a river, right? A river meandering, but always, like following a direction. And so, always noticing when we have been seduced into losing ourselves, losing our path, losing our purpose. Um, and I call it seduced because it's not always the traumatic experiences that are, initiations, right? They come in different ways. And these are, in my opinion, the hardest
mm.
because you don't even know that you are in initiation until you dip in it.
Yeah.
At first it just looks like, oh, this is what's happening, right? And however, you know, it's an opportunity. I feel like it's an opportunity for us when we have these experiences to come back home. It's
Mm,
almost like, it's time to come back home. And when it is time to come back home, you will know it, you will feel it. And if you allow yourself compassion and acceptance and, leading to surrender, it's a little less painful.
I so love that. This is amazing, Marie. We're going to take Q&A in a second. I want to get into the special offer here because there's so much that's coming through and the way that you're guiding people. Chris or April, if you put the link in the chat box, please, for the special offer. Y'all click on the blue link and open it up. And as you're opening up the page, and we'll follow along as Marie's going to explain what you're going to participate in and
Mm,
what's available for you in that. I want to bring back to presence. And I want to be very clear about this because again, you do it so elegantly. You're not future projecting us. If you do this, you get this, you get this, you get this. Like it's all about presence. It's about coming back here, come back into awareness, be aware of what it is that you're currently navigating. And from that place, what else becomes available, but it's always from that presence. And you keep anchoring it back in over and over and over again. And more than ever, the point of creation, that nexus point in our capacity to hold that field so steady and to create the next moment is becoming that much more malleable in our 3D form. And it's phenomenal. So, what you're teaching is so on the edge of where others are catching up of what it really requires to us to create the lives that we really want to. And again,
mm,
how to be present from that place and be our own seducers in the most celestial, benevolent way. To
oh,
have that inspiration come from within instead of being enchanted by something outside of us that then we have to recover from because we lost ourselves in the process. So it's absolutely amazing. Again, we're going to get to Q&A in just a little bit, but I want to get into the special offer first. Um, Marie, if you would, will you guide us
mm.
through what people are going to get to participate in and what kind of ceremonies and navigations and shamanic practices and celestial events they may
Yes.
be experiencing?
Yes, thank you so much, John. And thank you for, expressing and explaining,
Mm,
the cosmology, the special cosmology that I am bringing in with this, program, which is roots and wings, groundedness in our elevation. So, this celestial awakening is about bringing back your innate stellar knowledge because you do have it. And this in turn will reactivate your soul gifts, right? And it's a program that's going to have 5 modules, but the intention is really for you to awaken, to reconnect, and to start living your soul purpose in a grounded, embodied, present way, right? And when we do this, it's going to be with like minded, like hearted people, right? Sacred fellowship, sacred collective. So the first item is going to be about really unveiling your soul purpose through the stars, right? And I'm going to talk about why it is important to work with the stars right now. There's a whole, channeling or download, I should say, that I've received about that. And also, because when we embrace this, what happens is that we can really contribute to the
Mm.
world and to ourselves. And these times have been foretold in so many prophecies, right? And so it's, you said like, I'm on the edge. And so we're going to ride this edge while being present and embodied. The first module is going to be really about what it takes actually to go on this cosmic voyage by awakening your 12 ascension chakras, and some people call them chakras of Atlantis. This is where you're going to have your first deep shamanic journey to meet and connect with your time guide. Module 2, we're going to journey into Lyra, the first constellation that made contact with me. And Lyra is, again, yeah, this is where you're going to discover so many things, and you're going to start to learn here how to initiate communication and exchange with Lyra with techniques that I'm going to teach you. And this in turn will enhance your intuition, psychic abilities, and also your ability to communicate with angelic beings.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah. Module 3 is going to be about journeying into Arcturus. Arcturus is the sacred star of transformation, and I'm going to actually share about my own star journey here in this module, where I'm going to be able to tell you more of, the things that I can't really talk about here.
Mm.
And this is where you're going to be able to go on deep shamanic journey to be able to listen to Arcturus's messages for the wisdom of the future. This is where you're going to have healing and release, right? And what happens is that you start to have clarity of vision, you start to have alignment with these higher frequencies without ascension syndrome. Because one of the things that happen when people want to go high realms is that they have what is called ascension syndrome. They're tired, they're confused, they can't get out of bed, and they're totally out of body, right? So we're doing this in a grounded way where you don't go into that.
Amazing.
Module
There's
4,
more. There's more. Yes.
the Orion Nebula. And this module is like, I've put so much in this module because it's about alchemy. It's about cosmic creation and manifestation. Honestly, John, one of the things I've seen is that some spiritual people, although they know a lot of techniques, but there's still these wounds of poverty and
Mm.
scarcity and, like, I don't want to say those words, but you know what I'm talking about, right? And the cosmology that I'm bringing here is that we did not come here to suffer.
Mm.
No, 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 right? So there's like a lot of shifts that are going to happen here. Crystalline activation, where we're going to work on the crystalline structure of your DNA, where
Mm.
you're going to be able to reclaim your cosmic blueprint.
Wow.
Okay. And you're going to have deep shamanic journeys where we're going to go into the Orion Nebula. Even the scientists, right, recognize the alchemical powers of the Orion Nebula, because it's like the nursery. This is where stars are born, right? Hence the ability to manifest. So before we go on this module, we're going to create like an incubator where you're going to bring an intention, a project, something you working towards. So it's not just going to be like empty, oh, well, we're going on a journey. No, it's going to be practical, right? And
Mm.
I'm going to be, monitoring that. Like before we go here, everybody will bring something in the incubator so that we put it in the nursery, and then we will be all able to create and manifest something.
Mm.
And yeah. And the last module is Alcyon of the Pleiades. I love the Pleiades has 7 stars, but the one that wanted to be a part of this program is Alcyon. And this module is going to be broadcast live from Egypt. So I'm going to bring in the Egyptian cosmology, the pyramids, the Nile, and the temples, all that here.
Mm.
And this is where it's going to be the culmination of this celestial awakening journey. And this is where we're going to have, healing, restoration, rejuvenation, moving forward, and integration and closing. So, anyway, it's going to be amazing.
And Alcyon, I've never heard of it. And I was reading again, the brightest star in the Pleiades cluster. And
Yes.
you hold through it. And the fact it again, the synchronicity of Marie and I being in Egypt and overlapping around the same time. And for those of you who are going to Egypt with us, we may have a guest appearance by Marie. We'll see. We'll see what we do there. So it's fascinating how we're igniting particular places and showing up in clusters as well, if you will. And we're all taking each other into that place of harmonizing and really
Mhm.
just it's turning each other on, those pillars of lights, and what we hold in such a steady way is so powerful. And the way that you've set this up, Marie, your special offer, the alchemy, the shamanism, the connecting with the celestial, the grounding in it, and the really taking someone through the full, really grounded, practical manifestation process or alchemy. Just amazing. Y'all, this is $111 to work with Marie in this way. It's the 5 modules. Oh, there's a bonus. I didn't even get to the bonus. What's the
So, for those who are curious, who maybe want to learn a little more, I'm going to have a live webinar, on the Orion Nebula. Not what we are going to work about, just like a little taste.
Hmm,
But it's still going to be so juicy. So, if you want to come.
amazing. So that's part of the bonus. And then there's a quiz, galactic alignment.
So many people ask me, what is my soul purpose? Why did I come here? And, one of the things working with the stars that I have discovered is that there are certain stars that are actually guiding us, that are protecting us on, how to fulfill our soul purpose. It could be the star system where you're coming from, or the star system that you travel through, because our soul goes, through many stars. I don't want to go through that. And so this quiz is a channeled quiz. which star system enhance
Mm,
your soul purpose?
amazing. So cool.
Yes.
So cool what you put together here. Y'all, the special offer, it's $111. It's a value of over $555. It's Marie, and again, that place of presence, the peacefulness. I know y'all can feel just the still lake, the still crystalline lake, or even ocean that Marie brings in. And from that place, what gets activated in presence and truth, um, in alignment, it's amazing. It's amazing what comes through. So I hope you all take advantage of this special offer. Take the opportunity to drop in Marie. I love that you're doing the last call for Egypt. Makes so much sense. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, again, the link y'all for the special offer is in the chat box. Click on it if you want to read through it later. Just keep a tab open and dive in a little bit later. Um, and with that, Maria, I'd love to start taking some Q&A. We have some questions in the chat box.
Okay.
But I'd love to start with Linda. Linda, welcome to the call.
Me. Okay. Hi. This has been delightful. I really enjoying this very much. My question is, a lifetime after lifetime, we've been in reincarnating. Is there a way to stop the reincarnation cycle so we finally get to the stars and planets that we wish to get?
So did you say stop the reincarnation cycle in order to, you kind of cut off a little bit. What was your question?
It's Earth time.
Let's try one more time, Linda. Your internet seems to be cutting out. Or maybe why don't you turn off your video and let's see if we can if we can hear you.
Right.
Okay. I'm
There
so
we
sorry.
go.
Okay. Oh, maybe that's better. Okay,
Yeah.
yes. Is there a way to stop the reincarnation for the Earth so that we can travel elsewhere?
Oh, okay. I see. So let me just make sure I understand your question. So basically, what you're saying is, can you not come to Earth and like go somewhere else? Is that,
Yeah, so we can raise our levels to a higher level. You know,
well,
Earth is 3D density,
so actually, you don't need to stop anything in order for the other thing to happen, right? You know, it's our concept of time, space, dimension that makes us think it's linear, as in, if I'm in here, then I'm 3D, and then if I go higher, I'm 5D. No, they all existing at the same time, and it's states of consciousness and states of being. So um I don't think that you can and I hope you don't stop coming to Earth. The only we stop coming to Earth when we have nothing else to do here. Like, if you're here, you came for a purpose. It's just as simple as that, right? Because when you're done, then you're done. You don't have to come here.
Mm.
So it's not about forcefully, stopping it so that because what you are saying is that I'm kind of hearing in the background is that you actually want to participate in, like, higher evolution, maybe planetary consciousness evolution, or bringing these higher realms here. You can do it now. Like, take this course and something is going to happen. So or not take this course, you don't have to. But what I'm trying to say here is that you don't have to not come here in order for it to happen.
Mhm.
okay, thank you.
I want to get a little shamanic with Linda Marie because this is such a great conversation because it comes up a lot it comes up often in community, uh,
Right.
where people don't want to be here. They prefer to be somewhere else. And there's a practice that I've been in receiving different codes and really it's an ascension technology that's really ancient. But one of the codes is really being in divine acceptance. being in divine acceptance and just breathing into and sitting in stillness, that presence with I am divine acceptance.
Mhm.
What does that put you in presence? Because if you feel that you're somewhere that you're not supposed to be, shamanically, I can guarantee you that you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Exactly. That's why I started laughing, right?
Mhm.
Exactly. I mean, look at this beautiful energy.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Right?
Okay.
You laugh, Linda, because there's a recognition of that.
Yes, I know. And I have to tell you, John,
I
since the
called you
last,
out.
I know, since the last time that you told us about the 12 minutes, I've been doing that every morning
Beautiful.
about the meditation,
Mhm.
Mm,
the 12-minute meditations. I love it. Thank you so much.
Well, hold that 12-minute meditation and hold this code in particular. I am in divine acceptance. And just being
mm,
still
Okay.
with that phrase. And I would even say it
mm.
as a mantra over and over again, but I would say it once and see how still and quiet you can be as that
Yeah.
code's penetrating you. And the second a thought comes in that's anything other than that or stillness, just repeat the
Mm,
code again and have a relationship with that for a little while during that 12 minutes and let it really have
yeah.
do you. Let that code do you.
Mm.
And
Thank
that
you.
Oh, I
mhm.
Both of you very
feel
much.
You're
It's been a blessing to talk to both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Linda. I can actually already feel, and if you take a moment, I can feel you receiving these codes of divine acceptance and really starting to shift your perception of incarnation. I feel it already. Do you feel it?
oh,
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
it was
I
very
hope.
powerful.
I
It really
hope.
came through very well. Thank you.
mm,
Okay. I'm glad you received. Thank you.
amazing.
Blessings to both of you.
Blessings to you. Hey, Anna May is joining our group in Egypt, and she wants to
Mm.
take your course. And she's asking how she would complete your special offer. She's in Egypt at the same time.
Well, if she's in Egypt, she's just going to join the Zoom call as usual. Um,
The time difference may be a challenge, and we'll
like
have her
I'll
out of
be
the
in,
story.
yeah. So we'll see. Well, guess what? You'll get more of me.
Okay. And there's going to be recordings, obviously, of what.
There's going to be recording. I'm just smiling here. There's going to be recordings because, people are going to be joining from all over the world. Like when I was receiving about this, I just kind of, it's like I saw a map of the world and like dots in different parts of the world. So some people are going to be in different time zones, and we are going to make sure the calls are recorded. And also, we're going to give some additional materials that are needed for people, to really have a great experience.
It's wonderful. Thank you so much, Anne, for asking. And again, looking forward to seeing you in Egypt.
Yeah.
Again, your presence, Marie, it's just it's so notable. And there, and again, I know you work in the shamanic realms. I've mentioned that
Hmm.
several times. I tend to be a
Yes.
little more direct, like I was with Linda. Hey, if you don't want to be here, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. It's like cut to the chase. But
Yeah.
you hold the space with such grace. The shamanic realm doesn't always have to be such a crossing through the fire, does it?
No, not at all. There's a lot of compassion because of the understanding that the soul is truly here, undergoing a journey, an experience, right? And, the divine acceptance code that you talked about is some of that, where like the old cosmology, spirituals, or church, fire and brimstone, hell, you have to suffer. Like that is done. Like we're done with that.
Hmm.
We're done with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The
Doesn't mean
war is
you're not,
over.
yeah. Doesn't mean you're not doing deep work. You're just doing it in a different way.
Mm. So with that, what is your perception of the state of the world and where we're heading?
Mm. Mm. So, you know, the state of the world is that there is a lot of, I want to say, what I called being hijacked, right? Um, you know, blinders, blindfold, ears covered, there's those, and then you have those who are really feeling as if they are in the fire and they're like fighting and it's war and it's all that. And then you have those who know,
Mm-hmm.
those who are really, this is the war on presence. You've said it so many times. And, you know, one of the things, like when I work with clients, they could not even be present for 5 seconds,
Yeah.
right? 5 seconds. And I had a whole, I was being taught, and including me, right? When this journey of presence started for me, where, now it's like, I'm like totally here. But the
Mm.
first thing, I was being taught by a star being how to be present, right? And check this out, John. The practice was turn, use my eyes, because the eyes are, one of the ways that, like, most important ways we are seduced. It's the eyes.
Mm.
Like your gaze even like falls on something on your computer for like a millisecond, and there's like a subliminal imprint that goes in your subconscious and you don't even know. So it was like left, right, left, right, left, right, come into presence. That was the whole practice, right? So left, right, left, right, left, right, and
Mm.
then come into presence, right? You know how long? For about an hour, I was just being taught this. And by the time I had like the third left, right, it was like, wait, what am I doing?
Oh my God.
I went to school to be present.
Mm.
I
Oh.
was like, wow, I didn't even realize, right? But what I'm talking about is like a deep, embodied, conscious, all encompassing presence, right? It's not like, am I attentive? That's not what I'm talking about.
Mm.
So for 1 hour, I was only doing this, like shamanic, star galactic school can be intense. So this star being, John, was like sitting in front of me with so much patience, like for the little one, me, and just looking at me, just like, okay, let's do it again. Left, right.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, where was I going with that? Um, so yeah, so some people are really living in what traditionally is called hell, like they're living it right now. And some people are, with the level of consciousness, living the reality, the life that they desire, and, going through ascension. They're all existing at the same time.
Mm. And if we steer our consciousness in a particular way,
Of course,
there we will
we
be.
have the choice. We have
If
the
we can
choice.
remember that we have the choice,
Yes.
if we can attune to it, if we can harmonize with it
Mm,
and be taken down that river, as opposed to the river of seduction, the river of disempowerment, the river of disillusionment, and
yes.
river of non-presence, I guess I'll call it. Uh,
Mm. I
I,
really love this seduction thing we came up with on
I
this
do
call.
too.
The
Yeah,
river
yeah,
of seduction.
right.
Yes.
Amazing what comes through that. And it's to get into a little bit of your history, it's like you're a medical doctor, you're an anesthesiologist, and I remember you telling me that the doctors used to like all request you because their patients would wake up happier, they'd heal faster, like all these positive effects of being in your field as a
Yes.
medical doctor, and you left all that. You left all that and the nice salary and the cushiness of that to go on this journey and to be an example and to guide others through this relationship that you have through that quintessential, quintessent, oh my God, I can't say it right.
Quintessential.
Quintessential, thank you. Celestial being,
Yes.
right?
Yes. We, when I was talking and you were talking about, presence, groundedness, of, the soul journey, right? It is real. So
Mhm.
when I was feeling the call of my soul, which was like, this is what you were born to do, this is what you were born to bring to humanity, this is the mission of your soul. Of course, there was fear. Actually, this is one of the things that we go through because people were like, "You're crazy. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?" Right? Like, you one of the top anesthesiologists, in Southern California, income, like anesthesiologists and surgeons are the top paid doctors, right?
Hmm.
And I love my job. I wasn't fired. I wasn't like, I hate it now. It was really, I couldn't not anymore.
Hmm.
I don't know, it's not grammatically correct, but it was like I couldn't not do the work of my soul anymore.
Hmm.
I was dying. It was like, this is why I'm here. But there was also fear. I
Yeah.
remember once I had a conversation with the divine. I was, at Trader Joe's, it's a store we have in California, and I was calculating what can I buy here that is not organic and it's going to be okay, because until then I didn't even realize how expensive organic food was, because I would just go and buy it, with my salary. And then when I stepped into my soul work, at the beginning it's like I had no clients, I didn't actually know what to do, how to do it. At that point, John, I was like, this is not okay. And I had a talk with the divine.
Hmm.
And I was like, we need to sit down and we need to chat. But it came from that confidence, right? That belief, that empowerment. And so I was like, this is actually what I said. I said something like, I just want to remind you I live on earth, and on earth, we have to pay for things. Maybe you kind of forgot, but this is the reality here.
Hmm.
And, you asked me to do this work. So you need to take care of it. I was just like, bam.
Nice.
And like by the next week, I had like my first big client. And then it was just like, because I trusted, I believed, I was embodied, empowered, and in a relationship, like you said. So we could have a chat, right? Anyway, I don't even know where that came from, but there you are.
There we are. Well, the teacher's the one who's walked it. And so I think it's just I asked you that because I want others on this call to feel your personal experience of the journey that you went through and the fears, the doubt, the standing up for yourself with our guides, with your guides, the
Yes.
claiming. It's like, if we're doing this, this is what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
And the holding it steady and the confidence and the wobble all in between. But it's because you've walked that journey that you're able to share it with others in a way that can really be received and embodied from the way that you transmit it. And the calmness and the presence you bring doesn't come from saying this is where you need to be. It comes from you being that.
Mm,
from your journey of getting there, and truly what it's the journey, the roadmap, and the blueprint that you carried that you translate to others in your beingness. So
mm.
it's absolutely wonderful. You're shuffling cards over there. What are you shuffling? Before we end the call today, I'm curious what you're
You
shuffling.
know what? I don't even know why. As you were talking, my hands just went to these cards. It's the Anubis Oracle, Egyptian, and the card that came through was Osiris, and
Ah,
it's regeneration, right?
resurrection, generation. Yeah.
Yes, as you were saying that, I didn't like cognitively think, oh, I'm gonna shuffle a card and pick a. No, it's so yeah, you noticed that, right?
Oh
Because you
God, yeah.
felt it.
Yeah. Look, there's a message. All right. What do we say?
Yeah.
So, what's the message for everybody listening and listening on the replay today with
Mm,
rejuvenation, resurrection, Osiris?
mm. So, Osiris, resurrection, rejuvenation. So, what I'm receiving is it's reclaiming,
Mm,
remembering, and also possibility, right? Hope. It's possible
mm,
because some of the energies that percolate, not just here but like around, is like, oh, it's never gonna happen, nobody gets me, I'm not enough, uh, only other people. And this is actually a message to say that is not true.
mm,
There is possibility. And the regeneration part is it's like the nurturance, right, of all of us here. And I really invite you to feel, because healing, a big part of healing to me is about nurturance, being held. Like when a baby is sick, right? Just like holding them, tapping, everything is going to be okay. Not from a bypassing standpoint, but that nurturing possibility, um, peace, and but it comes with action, right? It's an active regeneration. It's not like, okay, let me lay down here and and
mm,
do me. It's, I am choosing to do this, right?
mm. Powerful. Donna's asking if we can see the card.
Yes.
Thank you for
So
asking, Donna.
it has roots, deep roots. It's like a big tree and deep roots, and there's rain. They're like, it looks like crocodiles on the river, like the Nile. Um, and there are flowers here. And what it says on the card is transmutation and beauty. you
Ah,
know there's a thing in shamanism called walking in beauty. So yeah, actually, so what I said makes sense,
mhm.
resonates, because I channeled what I was receiving. um yeah, beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. The beauty way, amazing.
Yeah.
But before we end the call, I'm going to ask a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, before I ask that favor and ask Marie to take us into that, the link for the special offers in the chat box. Y'all take advantage of that. It's amazing what's coming through. Um, April typed it in there again. At the very least, click on it, keep it open, and if you need to read through it later, read through it, but keep it active so that when we hang up today, it's not gone. And we'll send out the replay link if you want to come back and listen to the call. You can always access replays. You don't have to wait for the email by going to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/replay. So that's available there. The replay will be up later. The special offers on the screen now. Take advantage of it. One of the calls are going to be from Egypt. And so I love how all this Egyptian pillar of light energy. is
Mm.
coming through and what's going to be received and the activations through that. Y'all, it's profound what's happening there. I can't even put words to it, but there's an amplification and a buildup that is happening that we get to embody and share collectively with the rest of the world, truly.
Mm.
So it's extraordinary what's coming through. And Marie, something that you did, you had to hop off the call and come back on earlier when we were going live. There was a lot of energy moving through, but you did
Yes.
something that was so beautiful, and I felt it just reverberate. Put me in
Mm.
that state of presence and peacefulness that came through it. And I'd love it if
Mm.
you close out the call with the crystal bowl
Mm.
gone as we so that we can receive. And
Absolutely.
and as Marie
Yes.
does that, I'm gonna say goodbye to y'all now. Just namaste. It's amazing to be here with y'all. And Marie, I'm gonna reach out to you soon because we have to talk about other things as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure. Thank you. So, everyone, just allow yourself, if it's possible, to close your eyes. Calling in the indigo ray of the sun as a star. Imagine this indigo ray is like a deep blue light coming, emanating from the sky down and lightly touching your third eye between your eyebrows. And feel that indigo ray light sipping inside your cranium, your brain, wiping clean any thoughts, any cobwebs, any stuff that doesn't serve at this moment. And then feel this beautiful indigo light pouring down your whole body, bringing peace, rejuvenation, inspiration, and clarity. And take a deep inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth, letting go, relaxing, and feeling your third eye open to receive and integrate all the new awarenesses, guidance, and downloads you received during this session. Last deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, letting go and coming into presence as you slowly open your eyes.
Marie, thank you so much. It was wonderful to be with you. Have a fantastic evening. Bye, y'all.